All right. Hello, everybody. Today's video is on art resin. I really don't know where the camera is. You may be seeing my head, just my legs. I don't know. If you've watched my videos, you'll realize that they are raw and unedited because it goes straight from the memory card to you. Because that's just kind of how I am. And I just really hate resin. And this is a piece that I resined a couple months ago. And it missed some spots. So I must either not have cleaned the silicone off all the way, or the resin just didn't stick in parts. So it's been sitting around for months because I don't want to re-resin it because, as I said, I don't like it. But I've got a show coming up Saturday and I want this piece in it. So, and it fits perfectly. It's a 12 by 24 canvas. It fits perfectly in this Rubbermaid or Sterilite, whatever brand it is. And then I can put the lid right on it and stuff won't fall into it. So I'm going to start by double gloving, because if I double glove, when I go to torch, I can take a glove off and I still have one on. So it just makes life easier in the long run. And I'm going to grab that torch right now. And through trial and error, I've found these spots where I marked blue. That's enough for a 12 by 24. It's actually a little bit more than I need, but I can't find my stir sticks. But I'd rather have a little more than not enough. Getting some sticks. Because I've run out in the middle of a pour, and that is a pretty depressing feeling. But see, I'm already sticky. Like this, everything's just sticky. When I told my husband I was making a video, YouTube video, and he's like, "Ooh, a dirty one?" And I'm like, "You have no idea." So, art resin, you need the hardener and the resin. So, and if you've seen my other videos, you know that I do not like to measure things. People have asked, how much Floetrol, how much water, how much paint, and I have nothing to tell them because I just wing it. But with resin, you can't wing it. It has to be exact, which maybe that's why I don't like it. I don't like things that have to be exact. If I were to ever build a house, it would totally fall over. You know what? I just realized I'm probably pouring that way too high, and nobody can even see what I'm doing. And that looks... I'm going to hold them up. See if they look even. This one looks like it's a little bit more. Alright. I'm going to put those aside because, as I said, they're sticky and gross. If any of you do a lot of resin, let me know some secrets and tricks so that it's not sticky everywhere. So, then I've got my third cup. And you pour the hardener and the resin into the third cup. Scrape it all out of there. Fascinating stuff, I know, guys. I know. And the defects on this painting probably wouldn't be so noticeable to others, but to me it's really noticeable. And resin, if the light hits it in a certain way, you're going to see that something isn't quite right. Right now I'm trying to find a safe place to sit this. So you've got to stir it a couple minutes. I'm going to set my timer, get my phone. And this you kind of got to be exact as well. Yeah, but I don't want to start for 30 minutes. No. There we go. Alright. So you stir. You want to make sure that you're stirring it every direction. So stir for a while in one direction, and then in the other direction. Every so often stop and, oh my gosh, there's a big old hair. Every so often stop and kind of scrape the edges. And I prepped these because when you've made a painting with silicone repels, the resin won't stick to it. So I clean my paintings, and except for, as I said, like these little, and this one is just like one little couple pinpricks, but I do the whole thing over again. I put cornstarch, just straight old Argo cornstarch on it, and rub it in real well. And usually I let it sit for, usually I'll pour it on and then I'll do some painting, and then I'll wipe it off, put some alcohol on the paper, and I know I shouldn't use paper napkin, but I haven't had issues, and I'll wipe off the cornstarch, and then I just literally take my painting and run it under the sink, under the water, and I mean, they're amazingly durable, and then let it dry. And as for alcohol, I just use a little tequila, occasionally gin. Just kidding. It's just like the isopropyl alcohol or whatever. But you drinking alcohol might help. That might help the whole resin process be a little more interesting to me. I see people making resin pours, and I've gotten advice on how to do it, and I've done it incorrectly, because I now know that when you mix water and too much acrylic with resin, it ends up like this big globbery mess, which was a kind of cool science experiment, but not really the artistic direction I was going in. So I don't know if I'll ever try resin as a pour, but the ones I've seen are so gorgeous. But maybe one day. But I really don't like it. And I don't resin too many of my paintings due to that fact, but when they are resined, I mean, they're just so shiny, they're so pretty. Now, I don't know what, oh, you know what? Ha! I set my timer to 2 hours. No, I'm not, trust me, I'm not going to stir this for 2 hours. Stir it a little bit more. God, 2 hours. Boy, that resin would be mixed. Let's see. It's pretty interesting watching me stir this, I know. So I'm just starting this YouTube channel, so I'd love it if you subscribed, because that way I know somebody's listening to me blather on and on. So I'm just talking to myself. Alright, well, I'm turning off my 2 minutes, or my 2 hours, because I think we've had enough. So everybody does their version of resin a different way. But I've got the bottom taped up to protect it, and I've never really had a problem with the backs. We'll kind of go around and do some drips, but usually when I pull the tape off, the resin on the excess resin, not the good resin, comes off. And yeah, I have too much resin made right now, but we're gonna use it. And it is self-leveling, but I help it along with my gloved hand because it just goes a lot faster that way. So there. And then, so I'm gonna make sure to get it in, and I'm not actually too concerned about the rest of this because as I said, this piece is already resined. I am just making sure that the places that it missed the first time that it gets, so I'm not really too concerned about the rest. Biggest concern, well, one of the biggest, is to want to make sure the edges, the sides are covered, and air bubbles. So a torch is important. When I first started doing resin, quite a long time ago, and oh, there's a big blobby thing. I didn't have a torch, so I would huff on it, and I had to do that recently when my torch died. I didn't know my torch had died until I had already done the resin pour. And let me tell you, huffing on a painting this size was miserable. The whole family could hear me, even though I'm in the basement. They're like, what on earth are you doing? I'm just inhaling resin. So if you want it, so huffing is just like, not like huffing like drugs, because that's bad. Don't do that, drugs. All right. So this is the part where I take my double glove off. And then I've got my clean glove. And I'm going to take this glove off too. Because then I use, and obviously if you have a real flashlight, this would work. But I use the aid of my flashlight on my phone to see what I'm doing. Being down here, I see that I missed an entire area somehow. So I'm just checking. So I'm going to take this glove off. I got to retorch those areas. These pesky air bubbles will pop up for a while. I see something in there. I'm gonna get something to take it out. Let me find something. All right, I found a nail, which will work. I use nails for a lot of things, to poke air bubbles, to get things out of paintings. And they just disappear, and but they're still appearing. And I over-torched that area. That was smoking like a son of a gun. Don't do that. Whatever you do, don't do that. That was bad. That was really bad. Alright. So, I'm going to say goodnight to it. Whoa! I'll probably check on it here in about a half hour. Maybe wipe around the edges some more. And that's it. Thanks!